Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Industry Disruptors. I'm 𝗪𝗍𝗪 and this is 𝗓𝗵𝗏 MBE once again with me. And today we are going to be discussing insanity, the harsher truths. Something a little bit different this time, simply because what we're seeing in the market today is unbelievable at times. And I think it needs to be broadcasted to the masses of what we actually deal with, not just on a daily basis, but have been doing so for probably about 18 months or so.
So you know we're not making it up.
Yeah, basically that, to be honest. So harsh truths about clients, harsh truths about lenders, harsh truths about solicitors, harsh truths about surveyors. So we'll be discussing everything that we possibly can, and basically telling you how it is. For those of you that know who I am, I'm very blunt and honest. For those of you that don't know who I am, you will figure out very, very quickly how blunt and honest I am. Jordan, what say thee?
I've become blunt and honest.
You have actually.
Over the last year.
I remember when
I first started,
yeah, I
was like, oh yeah, anything 3 bags full, sir. And I'm like, get it to me now, bitch. That was me yesterday on the phone. If I send it, do it now. So you're so bossy. I'm like, yeah, but I get shit done, right?
Yeah, it is about getting shit done. Ultimately, the whole point of us doing what we do is always for the client.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't, the amount I fight with lenders, with surveyors, with underwriters, with solicitors, it's because of the client, right? I care so much about that client and their deal. I want it to get done, and that's why I fight so much.
But sometimes the client either doesn't understand that, or we care more about the deal than the client.
Yeah, also some clients don't even appreciate it, which gets it does get disheartening. I'm not going to lie. I've had it very, very recently where one client in particular is cue the music, fucking broken my heart, like with what I do for them and how much I go above and beyond.
But it's because they don't understand what an advisor does, hence this episode.
Yeah, true.
Because a lot of people don't understand actually what it is. They're just like, well, don't you just press a few buttons and then just push it through to a lender and then just send over a few docs? Yeah, if only my life was that simple.
I know. And I think it's not having that, I guess, transparency, because they can't, well, I mean, unless we decided to do an open day and say, right, and come and sit in Hearthstone offices for a day.
I said we should be on a reality TV show.
I think the office itself is
so like 𝗟𝗏, but like
𝗟𝗏.
You know, like 𝗟𝗏, how it's like reality TV.
Yeah, but could you?
But half-stones are like 𝗟𝗏. The only way is half-stone. 𝗟𝗏. Sounds well. 𝗟𝗏. Doesn't quite work. But the content would be great, because you can't make that shit up. And it sounds like we're making, the whole classic, like, oh, my dog ate my homework. But the dog really did eat the homework.
Yeah. That is some of the responses. I think I get to the point where there are times where I'm just like, do you know what? I can't be fucked. Like I just want to, white flag, literally, I'm done. I just want to pack up and just, it's like the other day when I said to you, should we just fuck this all off and just go to the pub? Because I just cannot be bothered. Like, there is not one single case that is just flying through. Every single one, there's an issue, or 2, or 17,
actually.
Or, whoops, sorry, whoops, or that one case, 28 requirements.
Yeah.
28 requirements. I'm like, and any of you, if you watch any of our socials, actually, you'll see that we've started doing some little reels on Instagram and TikTok of actual real life situations. When they're that ridiculously stupid, you can go on our personal TikToks and Instagrams where you'll see us do little videos. Like you did the one of asking for dogs.
How to get a mortgage in 2025.
Dog's mother's maiden name or something like that. Like
Yeah.
just some ridiculous things.
The
Or the
£2.64
eBay.
from Woolworths.
Yeah, the eBay. The eBay one.
But that actually was a real case.
I know it was a
I
real
just
case.
tweaked it a little bit to make it more.
But yeah, so if you want to see how ridiculous things can be, like we've done real life reenactments of conversations that we've had with certain people. So be sure to check that out.
Yeah.
But I understand that you have something special for today.
Yeah, I do. And I worked really hard on it.
I have not been privy, which makes me incredibly nervous because I like to be in the know.
I know.
But you've kept it secret.
Yeah, you tried to have a few peaks as well.
I didn't even realise I was having a peak. I didn't even know what it was.
So,
do you want to explain to the audience what you're going to be doing? So
we deal with so much incompetence and random shit and things that you couldn't even imagine to be true. So I thought I would write down the top 20 most stupid Hearthstone moments and read them out to you to see if it will just trigger some nostalgia.
Some nostalgia or anger?
Both.
Okay. All right. Is this like a quick fire?
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
we can expand because obviously I've bullet pointed because look at how small my cards are.
Yeah. Okay.
Coming in at number 20.
Look at you hitting them.
I know, it's so close to me. It's invading my personal space. Coming in at number 20. Send a bank statement showing the rent on the top line labelled rent.
Oh.
Underwriter says, please highlight the rent payments as I can't locate it. It's a classic. I'll start with a classic. Okay.
I remember this so clearly.
I do as well.
You're like, Ajay, am I being thick? I'm like, what? And then you showed Charlotte as well.
I did.
She goes, Charlotte, am I being thick? What? What's this on the top line of the bank statement? It says rent and the property name after it. Right, look what the underwriters asked me for. Yep. Can you please tell us where the rent for this property is on the bank statement?
Because some things are so dumb that you have to like reread it 5 times to make sure you're not the one being dumb.
Yeah.
It was that moment.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Well,
number 19.
Yeah.
This happened to me just last week.
Go on.
I call in to talk about a case. I hang up. An hour later, I call back. Sorry, I can't talk to you about the case.
What?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
So I rang a lender.
Yes.
And I said, went through security, name, date, birth. Everything was fine, hang up. Call back in an hour just to check something else. Same security questions. Sorry, you haven't passed security. I can't talk to you about the case.
And you gave the same security answers?
Exactly the same. Word for word.
Lenders, man.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that's crazy.
That stumped me though. Because
do you
know what they said? They said, go back to the client and just clarify their name. I was like, I've been working with this client for 4 years. Their name has not changed. Plus, it's on the system. It's on keyed into the application. It's on the passport. Like, I can't go back and say, sorry, what's your name?
Yeah.
I was stumped. I didn't know what to do.
Gosh.
So I sent an email.
Oh, and then
that was fine. I didn't have to go through security on the email.
Oh, my goodness. All right. Next one.
Classic. 18. You'll know this one very well.
Go on.
Client has 30k on their credit card. Please provide evidence it can be paid off. We do. Underwriter declines because they don't believe it can be paid off.
This is my case. To give you backstory on that very quickly, I purchased 2 properties at the same time, like within a week of each other. So I decided to refurbish both of them so that they were actually nice for tenants to live in because they were disgusting. The old landlord had never done anything in their life. So I've spent £30,000 on my Amex credit card, obviously, to get my Avios points. And I went to refinance these properties, and this bitch of an underwriter didn't believe that I could pay off that £30,000, even though the refinances were pulling out £70,000 on top of what I had already got.
But you had other funds that we could evidence
and then
as well.
I showed my company accounts, the net profit, my personal
accountant certificate that you had to pay for.
I paid £150 for my accountant to give a certificate to say he can pay this. My own personal tax calculation showing my salary and dividends, and my crypto account showing the funds that were in my crypto account, my ISA accounts showing the funds I had in my ISA accounts. In case you don't realise, I like to spread my risk of investments. And on top of that, my entire portfolio, which brings in X amount per month. And they didn't believe that I could pay off my credit card.
And that was a straight decline.
And they declined.
I argued it.
They declined me.
Yeah.
That was disgusting.
So that one had to be in there.
Yeah, that's 17.
No, that's 18.
That should be number 1.
Oh, there's better ones.
Oh gosh.
17.
Go on.
Client owns £5 million in shares that can be sold at any time. Underwriter is concerned about retirement because they don't have a pension. You know this one.
He's one of the dads at my school.
Yeah, he is.
So he's one of the dads at
This
my
stumped
daughter's school. His daughter goes to the same school as mine. Incredible. Very, very senior position at a hedge fund.
Such a nice guy as well.
We're talking, one of the most hardest working humans I've ever come across. The nicest guy you could think of. Millions in shares. Millions in shares. And yeah, they were like, "Oh, we don't believe that his retirement income."
Concerned about his retirement.
It's like, mate, you could
Think he'll be all right, mate.
He could pay off this mortgage tomorrow if he wanted to,
Yeah.
but he doesn't want to. So yeah, that's fun.
Right.
Go on.
16. This is a classic. This was one of mine.
Go on.
We close down the case, submit to another lender, complete with said lender. First lender emails me that the valuation report is back.
I've had similar. So this happens a lot where you get stupidity from one lender. They're either taking too long, or their surveyor is an idiot, or whatever it may be. So we take the case to another lender. We get a mortgage offer. We tell them to close it down. They come back. Oh yeah, can you give us this, please?
Yeah.
Or can you do that? But yeah, absolutely.
To this day,
stupidity.
lives in my head. This is a recent one. 15.
Go on.
Valuer tells the client that the property is easily worth 6 million, and then values it at 4 million because the lender will prefer that.
Surveyors, the bane of existence. I'm going to talk about surveyors in a bit.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about
I've got it on my notes here, so I don't forget, because I've had some whoppers, and recently I've probably had the worst whopper out of all, which is disgusting.
Too much power.
Too much power. Too much arrogance.
Yeah.
No common sense.
No.
And they hate investors.
Yeah.
So yeah. Wankers. 14
is a generic one.
Go on.
An underwriter asking for a document but has no idea why they actually need it. I feel like we're getting a lot of these recently.
Do you know what? The best is when I say to the underwriter, right, could you please clarify what specifically you need and for what purpose you need it? Because if they give us the answer as to what they need it for,
so then we can get
we can give them the exact thing that they need. I had that recently. Where what was it? What does she want?
Did we ever find out what she wanted?
Oh, proof of deposit. She wanted proof of deposit, but she couldn't actually explain what she was asking for and why she was asking for it. And she made up some essay of a sentence. I don't know if I don't know, maybe she just used thesaurus.
I think she used ChatGPT.
Honestly, I couldn't believe it. I was just like, so you just need deposit funds?
Why didn't you say that?
And she was like, yeah. I was like, right, so you just wasted a week for what?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, go on. Next
13.
one.
Valuer couldn't gain access to part of the property.
I know.
Just makes it up.
I know this one. I literally said on the report.
And he put it on the report. Made it up because they couldn't gain access. Why didn't you ask for the key, mate? At least he was honest.
That's true. Yeah, I think that's the first.
It's a rare trait in a valuer, isn't it? Honestly,
yeah, absolutely. I couldn't get. Yeah, do you know what? We laughed for a good while about that one, but then the lender wouldn't do anything. Did the lender send them back out again?
No. Well, by this time the client was just like, "Fuck that."
Oh, did you go to another lender?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, couldn't be bothered with that.
Gosh. All right. Go on. Hit me.
Sweet 12. This happened.
Sweet 12.
I don't know what I was saying there.
Sweet. Blah, blah, blah.
Made that up. This happened to me this week.
What was that? Number 12.
Number 12. Yeah.
Go on.
I rang a lender. Do you lend on C1?
Yeah.
What is C1?
Do not even joke.
So a lender doesn't even know what C1 is, which is a hotel, essentially. Do you lend on hotels? The class usage is C1 for apart hotels and stuff like that. Not clear what it was, so I was like, I assume you don't lend on it then if you don't know what it is.
Can you name that lender? Can you name that lender, please, I beg?
It rhymes with 𝗃𝗵𝗄.
You what? I'm the foggiest.
Simple bridging.
Oh, a bridging lender.
Yeah.
They didn't know if they lent on C1.
They didn't even know what C1 was.
Oh.
Although that's not the first lender, may I add, that didn't know what it was.
Do they actually lend on it? Because that would be really
No,
fun.
no, they don't.
Okay,
they
fine.
don't. But it would be hilarious if it's like, actually, it's in the criteria.
Yeah. All right.
This one's one of yours.
Oh, okay, go on.
11. Sends passport closed. So the front of the passport. At least we know they're from the United Kingdom.
So we asked for proof of ID, which is usually by way of a passport and driver's license scanned copy PDF to us via email. And client decided to put his passport closed on a piece of paper, take a picture of it, and send me that. There's your proof of ID.
Could be literally anyone in the United Kingdom.
Could be any British citizen under the sun in anywhere across the world. Go on, next one.
10, also yours.
Oh, go on.
Refuses to send all the documents we asked for at engagement and then complains we need the same documents at underwriting.
I can't even remember who that was, but I remember it so clearly.
Yeah. And I wasn't quite sure what to say because you were away at the time, so Charlotte was dealing with it. And
we asked for all these documents.
And I said, well, this is why I asked for it at the start, because then if you gave it to me then, I wouldn't need it now.
And they complained at that point, like, why are you asking for this now?
But it turns out they don't even have those documents because they haven't done their accounts.
Oh, that gets me onto accountants in a minute.
So,
well, I'm writing that down. I should remember that. Try.
Oh, number 9 is also one of your clients.
Go on.
There's a pattern here. Refuses to send any document via email, as doesn't want to scan it, so sends via post, although they are already PDFs. So I'm not sure about the logic there, right?
This is brilliant. Charlotte was up in arms. She was just like, I don't understand it.
There were documents all over the office floor.
She had literally documents all over the floor trying to sort through it. Yeah, so basically, all PDF documents, they decided to print them all off and send them rather than just email them because they didn't want to scan them even though they were already PDFs.
Yeah, she just had to attach it to the email.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Number 8 lives with me and will live with me till the day that I die.
Go on.
Sends passport with a vape.
It's a vape in his hand. He's got a vape in his hand. He puts a passport down like that with a vape in his hand, takes a picture of it. Here's my passport picture.
Kills me.
Wait, did you respond by saying, can you please redo that without the vape?
Yeah, I did.
And what did they say?
You sent it without the vape.
That's brilliant. Did they see the funny side of it?
I think so, but I don't think they were very humorous in the end.
Oh, okay.
They were quite difficult.
Okay.
Number 7 is from a lender.
Go on.
And you know who this lender is. Changes the rate 2 days before completion.
Oh my God. Yeah.
It's happened to both of us.
Probably one
recently.
of the most unethical lenders in the country.
Mm-hmm.
However, they will go on and on about how we've been here 50 years, so we know what we're doing. They basically treat clients like shit and screw everyone over consistently. Just for themselves, basically.
Yeah.
I personally, I've got to the point now where I feel that they're only in business because they fuck people over.
Yeah.
Simple as that. And you're hamstrung at that point. 2 days before completion, there's nothing you can do. You've got to deal with it. Although, I have once had a complaint upheld.
Have you?
They did exactly that. I was fuming. It cost the client £13,000 in lending because of that. Made the complaint and they upheld it and sent that £13,000 back to the client.
Okay, well at least they did that.
Yeah. So, yeah. All right. Go on.
Number 6 is yours. Okay. One that gave you high blood pressure.
There's many.
Underwriter who wanted evidence that he paid himself.
Oh, fuck.
So he did the work. Obviously, he can evidence that he did the work. But she wanted him to evidence him paying for the work to himself, which I don't think is physically possible to pay your own bank account from your own bank account.
No.
And she wasn't
we talked
getting
about this
it.
on a previous episode.
Yeah, we did. And I don't understand. Like we
No,
broke
first it was, can I have the invoices for the work that was done?
Yeah.
And so we went to the client, and the client said, well, the freeholders done it themselves. It's like, yeah, well, they want invoices. So the freeholders then put invoices together for the lender. Lender then says, well, I want proof that it was paid. It's like, mate, you can't pay your own bank account. He's not going to pay himself for the work that he's done himself.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Couldn't grasp that.
But they've completely gone down the toilet since they were purchased.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're just a pointless lender now.
Oh yeah, the lender. Yeah. No, they are. Number 5.
Top five.
We're top 5 now. The solicitor tells me title splits are illegal. And I remember having this conversation because you were away and it was your case, but I was dealing with it. And I remember calling you from my living room saying, I can't believe I've just had this conversation with a solicitor.
So to put it into perspective, we do probably about 50 to 60 title split cases on an annual basis each. It's obviously not illegal.
It's very common, actually. A very smart way of investing.
I think she just didn't understand.
Well, clearly.
Just, yeah, baffling. Right, go on, next.
Number 4, I think this is number 4 because it's fresh in my mind, is solicitor just made up requests. So we're one day before completion and the day of completion. The lender has sent the funds and is like, please complete, everything's satisfied. She just then made up
a requirement.
One requirement.
Ashtray.
2 requirements. Wanted to see an ashtray and wanted to see an amended lease, even though the lender's like, we don't give a shit. We're happy with the lease. Just fucking give them the funds. Give them the money. Yeah. We've already given it to you. Just complete.
I don't understand what was going through her brain throughout the whole process.
Even the lender was like, that solicitor's just made it up. We can't do anything.
Yeah.
It's like, she can ask for it, but I don't want it.
Yeah.
Just take the funds.
Yeah.
They're throwing money at me at this point.
It's baffling.
Yeah.
Baffling.
Number 3 is one of mine.
Top 3.
Yeah. Please tell me exactly when and where did you meet the client? Coordinates, please.
I haven't got a clue, mate. It's about 5 years ago.
Yeah. So I was like, September 22 over a cappuccino in Gerrard's Cross.
Did you actually say that?
Yeah. And she accepted it.
Brilliant.
Who asks that? I couldn't even remember when we first. I had to go back to see the first ever email that I sent to him on because that was the day that we met.
Yeah.
And I was like, how ridiculous is that?
That's just preposterous.
It's so dumb. Number 2.
Go on.
Asking for docs that are attached to the email that they've replied to.
That was just now.
That was just now. This week.
Do you know what? February's been weird.
And that one's number 2 because it's just pure stupidity.
So to put into context, Jordan sent all the documents that were required to the lender. The lender came back and said, please can you send us these documents? And replied to the email with which she had attached all of the documents that they then asked for again.
Yep.
This is how much incompetence we deal with.
So that wasted
All right, give it to me. Number 1. Give it to me.
Number 1.
Drum roll.
Who is Lisa? I'm going to explain.
Right, okay. Ladies and gentlemen, there is something called a lifetime ISA, and there are multiple people within the UK who have a lifetime ISA, which they put £4,000 into on a yearly basis, and the government tops up with £1,000. That is to go towards your first house purchase. The lifetime ISA is there for good use, and it's maybe one of the positive things that the government does for people. Do they do anything positive? Anyway, that's another story. On the client's bank statement, we see £4,000 going into this lifetime ISA. And the underwriter says to me, can you please confirm who Lisa is and if this £4,000 is going to continue after completion of this property purchase? Lisa L. for lifetime. 𝗂𝗍𝗂𝗔. This is an underwriter at one of the top 6 banks in the UK asking what a lifetime ISA was, not realising that Lisa is lifetime ISA. Wow. Just wow. So I'm down with that being number one. That's a very good number one. Well done.
It is.
Well done.
Yeah, thank you.
But yeah, so I guess that's a little snippet into the stupidity that we have to deal with on a daily basis.
These are just the top 20, guys.
Yeah, they're about 180 per
This is
day.
something that happens on a daily basis.
Yeah, this February's been weird though. I've had some really strange
We have had
things
some
happen.
really strange shit happen, actually.
I think off the back of that, I think if we touch on the way that clients treat advisors, because this is the shit that we go through.
That nobody sees.
That nobody sees.
And we do it so that the client doesn't have to go through this shit.
Right, that's the whole point we're here, right? We exist to make the client's life easier, to make the process simpler. So we deal with all the nonsense so they don't have to deal with the nonsense, right? And ultimately, when there are certain questions that a lender will pose, there's a way to answer them.
Yeah.
The problem that I'm seeing more and more and more, and in some circumstances it's granted, because yes, there are a lot of advisors who actually don't know what they're doing, and it's very, very sad to see. They don't know what they're doing because they don't have the experience, not because they're stupid or they're incompetent or whatever, but if they have a specific niche, they won't necessarily come across absolutely everything. Because we don't have a niche and we deal with every type of mortgage or bridging finance, development finance, or whatever that exists, we've seen it all. Not only that, I personally have done over 100 transactions for myself as an investor, so I've seen it all, I've been there and I've done it, so I've experienced things. So there are advisors that don't have that experience, and so therefore they won't know what to do. And therefore a client is going to say, well, this guy is fucking useless because he doesn't know what to do. In that circumstance, yeah, I get it. But in a circumstance where someone has pretty much been through everything, done everything, and also fights as much as I fight, when a client comes back, say again? Well, yeah, you fight as well now, actually. Yeah, I'll give you that. Well, you didn't when you first started.
Got my boxing glove. The thing. That was really good, actually. Didn't want to hit this.
Yeah. The way that clients treat advisors is as if we're just like a nothing in the process.
Some of them do, yeah.
And it's funny because without the finance, you're not going to get anything.
No, you're not.
You're not going to get anywhere. If you're trying to grow a portfolio, you can't grow a portfolio without finance.
Yeah.
You're trying to buy your first residential house. Unless you're a billionaire or a millionaire or have been gifted hundreds and hundreds of thousands, you're not buying a house without a mortgage.
No.
The integral part of what we do and how we do it, and the creative ways in which we can do things with, especially with property investors.
Yeah.
It's almost like, where is your brain?
Well, they need us the most, the investors, because they're buying constantly and they're always on a deadline. So if I clock off at 5 o'clock every day and I'm not reachable in case of emergencies, then it's a problem. Like, when I went to Prague at Christmas, I was on the phone around the Christmas markets with a mulled wine, getting a completion done because I knew that they had to complete today. Like, it was a deadline and they would have lost that deal because it was auction. So it's like, I know how to get shit done. Like, how you are lucky to have someone in your corner.
Yeah, and
like
I think that's what it comes down to, is they actually don't realise what they actually have.
I poked myself in the head when I was doing that. I tried to cover it, but it's actually just hurting my head now.
I've looked at so many different cases where we've had the fight, and I'm just like, did the client even give a shit?
Sometimes they don't.
Did the client care about what I did? And yeah, I've let go of quite a few clients over the last couple of years because I find it just really difficult to to deal with someone who questions absolutely everything. They question everything, but then they also...
Like, I don't want to create work for myself, right?
But also, it's like, obviously you've just seen this quick fire round that we've done. I mean, there's so much to go through here of what the harsh truths are, of what exists out there. But if you look at their thought process with looking at, you know, what we've done, like half the time it's just like what they're doing.
Partly because they don't know what goes on behind the scenes, hence what we're doing. And the other side of it is that it's just unrealistic expectations, because in their head, they're like, oh, well, I just need to buy this property. Why can't it be done in 24 hours when it's half fallen down, it's on a river, and it's got 2 years left on the lease? Well, why wouldn't you do it? Like, why can't you just get done in 24 hours? Like, it's not that hard.
Yeah, it's that understanding their expectations. It's just like, do you even understand what you're asking?
Yeah.
You spoke about river, and I was going to touch on surveyors, but then it's triggered my mind to the most recent case that I have with a surveyor.
There's quite a few on the river at the moment.
Yeah, but it's triggered my mind with the most disgusting, discriminative experience that we've just had with a surveyor.
Oh, is that the HMO one?
Yeah, with an 8-bed HMO. Absolutely gobsmacked. And it's for a client who has been on this show.
Yeah.
But yeah, unbelievable.
He was fuming as well. I've never seen that guy fuming.
I know.
He's always like such a nice guy.
I'm gonna have to stop it because we've run out of time there.
It's like the countdown clock.
So we're gonna have to come back for part 2 because there's just so much to get through. I'm really sorry. So yeah, there's a lot to get through. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things to touch on here. So yeah, we're gonna have to come back and do it part 2. So
if you want to
for
know
part 1, thank you for joining us, and you can come back in part 2 and join us and listen to the rest, where I go into the nitty-gritty of what I've got here in my hand. But yeah, thanks, Jordan.
That's okay. If you want to see the disgusting story about the disgusting valuer who does disgusting things, come back.
So thank you everyone for joining us once again. We really appreciate your support. It's been 2025 has been interesting because a lot of people have actually physically come up to me and said, oh my God, I watch your podcast. It's amazing. You guys are great. Thank you so much for everything you do. So for those of you that do appreciate, thank you so much. For those of you that don't like it, fuck off.
My mum watches it every week religiously.
She's at 8 o'clock, bang.
Yeah.
Wednesday.
Hi, Mum. She's like, I don't understand what you're talking about, but it's so good.
Yeah, my mother said to me, do you have to swear so much? And I was like, maybe.
Sorry.
I don't care.
I
don't. But yeah, thanks everyone for joining us. Be sure to put some comments in there. Like and subscribe to the channel if you want to watch any of the other episodes. Obviously, we're midway through season 2. Midway through season 2. So yeah, thank you very much, and we will see you again for part 2 of The Harsh Truths.